Hello and welcome back to the Adrian project. Hello. Many thanks for choosing to click on my thumbnail and to watch my content. Very much appreciated as always. Okay, so see from the thumbnail, we're on vlog number 4 of my Revell 172nd Millennium Falcon build. Okay, so here we go. It's just a heads up, as always, to let you know how far I've got. But before we start, I'm just going to go into this little bit here. Now on number 1, in the instructions, it tells you to put the decal onto that back plate. Now I didn't do that when I built it because I thought there's going to be plenty of room to get it on as soon as everything's in position, and I've painted it. So I put it onto the model, all in position. Then I've come to put the decal on, and my God, made a right pig's ear of it because it's made it really difficult. I had to put loads and loads of decal fix on just to try and get it to move around and again, I don't know what's happening with Revell decals of late. I don't know if anybody out there has had the same problem, but when they've got little thin parts, they're just tearing so easily. You have to be really careful with them. So you know, I managed to get it on. It's a bodge job, but at the end of the day, because the decal is on that back plate there, when you come to putting it on the clear part, the cowling part, that's when I can find that, which is that part just there, which I've put on. As you can see, there's a locating pin there, and there's another locating pin there, which is going to be blocking off most of what you can see on the back. And also I put in the little Han Solo and Chewbacca figures. So that's going to be blocking off a lot of what you can see in the back. Plus, most of this clear part there is spray painted anyway. It's just the little windows cut out there that'll be left clear. And so I'm not lighting this kit up, so you're hardly going to be able to see inside it anyway, because it's not the greatest clear part, I must admit. It's a bit on the thick side, but it is what it is. So like I say, if you're doing this kit and you've not started yet, I know I didn't do it before on my vlog 2 when I made it, but like I say, especially if you're lighting it, paint that part and then put your decal on. It's going to make life so much easier. Okay, so if you remember before, I put all the walls on around the outside. It was spray painted on the inside of the black. So that came to painting, you know, the whole hull. Now, the colour they tell you to do here is Revell 371, which is a light grey silk matte. Now I couldn't find the Revell one, I couldn't find the Humbrol one, anything remotely close to that colour in a rattle can. I even looked in my car, auto car parts place. I couldn't find a spray paint there, so I came up with an idea. I thought if I put my usual grey primer down, I use the Humbrol grey primer, which is a dark grey primer, and then I'll find something that's light and I'll just put thin coats on the top. So what I went with was Citadel Colours Wraithbone. Thought give it a go, because yeah, I'm not too bothered if it's not film accurate. That doesn't bother me. It probably will do you, but it doesn't me. Just to let you know as well, those of you who've not seen my videos before, I don't own an airbrush, and I didn't want to be having to do this with a brush by hand. So I put my primer down and I put a couple of really thin coats of the, what was it called, wreath bone down, and this is what it's come out with. And I think that looks all right. So you're still getting a few of the dark grey bits coming through on the bottom. Let me just show you on this part as well. So for me, as a base coat, it's looking a little different, you know, on there than what is. Oh, what's that? some masking tape stuck to the foot. But there you go. It looks a little different to what it's on my screen at the moment as recording. But for me, that's done the job fine for me. I put the inside parts in there now. I was going to think about doing something on the gangway, you know, some kind of, make it more interesting, but I think for most of the time it's just going to be closed anyway. What I would point out as well is the locating pins here. As you can see, mine hasn't gone flush in. When I dry fitted it, I thought it had gone in all the way, but then when I glued it and came back and realised it's not, so you might want to knock just a few millimetres off the locating pin there. If that's going to bother you, that's what you do. For me, I'm not all that bothered, so it don't stick out like a sore thumb. I think it's one of those things that when you know it's there, you just keep seeing it. If you didn't know it weren't there, you wouldn't notice it. So there we go. So I put the guns on it as well. Also, as you can see there, I painted the glass bits there. It says in the instructions to use white. I didn't think that would go well at all, so I used, I think is it Celestra Grey, the Games Workshop one. I got it in hand, and the parts there, I actually painted it by hand. I didn't even bother masking them off because the frames are so chunky on there. You just go down and it's just so easy, even for me with my shaky hand. It's so easy. Any little bits that I did get on the glass, with it being acrylic, I just got cocktail stick and just scraped it off when it was dry, and it's come off perfectly. So that's bits on there, and that bit is on there. I've glued them on the inside, and I used Humbrol Clear Fix because I didn't want to risk fogging the parts up with your normal glue. Also as well, I don't think it's going to pick it up very well on there. I've done the silver parts that required it on the legs. Again, that was using Citadel paints. That's the lead belcher one. It's a great silver, that is. Absolutely looks. I've got a Humbrol silver. I don't know why it's just coming out. It's dull and grey. It's just not working. But the lead belcher from Citadel paints was doing a great job. So there we go. I also filled in those edges as good as I needed to, because like I say, I just want this to be a fun build. You know, I spent 6 months on the submarine. I just wanted something I could just knock together and have a bit of fun with. That's why I'm not too bothered about it being film accurate. To me, I like that colour. I think it's come out very nice. I quite like that colour. So what's left to do now is I've got to come up with some bright blue paint to go on the strip across there. I might go with the oil colours that I've got. Oh, I'm really steaming up here. My glasses are steaming up. It's really close here today. So that clear part's got to be painted that blue colour. Then you've got to have the decal on top. Or then I don't know whether to, do I risk putting a gloss varnish on it? I don't think I will now. Yeah, experience tells me that to keep any kind of varnish away from the gloss part. So I may just mask over that when it comes to the varnishing bit. So what I've got to do now on there is a hell of a lot of painting. There are a lot of like grey panels that have to be painted on. There's some red panels on there that need to be painted on. There are a few decals in there for panelling as well. That's going to be a different grey. but I've got to do the painting first and then get the gloss down, the gloss varnish down, so I can weather it, and then we can put the decals on top of there. Why I haven't put the two parts together is quite simply because I haven't done the back engine part yet, and it's going to make weathering those parts there and those parts in there a lot easier. I can get the brush in there, no problem, whereas if I'd have put the tops on there, it's just made it so much harder to get the brush in there for weathering. So when I've got those weathered up, we can get the top put on and the decals. So like I said at the beginning, build wise, this kit is no great shakes. It's really easy. I think it might be based around a click together kit, but you know, it says you might be able to get away without using glue, but having built it now, I'd say yes, use glue. There are a few parts in here that are click fit, but there we go. So the build wise is skill level 1 for me. There's nothing on here that would frighten anybody. So it's all down to painting and weathering and seeing what I can come up with on there. So I've got other things to do. I've got work as well. So it's probably going to be another couple of 3 weeks, but hopefully my last vlog number 5, hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to be my final reveal. So there we go. That's as far as we've got now with Millennium Falcon Build. All the parts are in place. It's just painting, weathering and decaling, and then it'll be the final reveal. And that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed that one. Please remember, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to my channel. It'd be very much appreciated. And also don't forget to ring that little notification bell.